right, here's another question. How about John Peterson from asks, should wrestlers be bookers? Should bookers be wrestlers? I loved when Paulie was a character, but was glad he never wrestled in any matches back during ECW.
Ah, okay. Should wrestlers be bookers? I feel like wrestlers can be bookers. I feel like bookers should not be wrestlers if they're not trained. I saw a piece this week. It was Freddie Prinze Jr. He commented on Ronda Rousey, and he was saying she just keeps getting worse in the ring or something to that effect. And it bothers me because I know he was a writer for WWE, but is he a worker?
No, not from what I know. I've heard of him taking bumps.
As a fan, I understand that you can think somebody's great in the ring or somebody sucks in the ring. I have a problem when people who've never taken a bump will say that she took that bump horribly. That bump looked like shit. This person did this incorrectly, blah, 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 blah. There's a way that you're trained, and not everybody is trained the same. The way that I was trained is different than the way a female that went through the power plant or the WWE facility, whatever they're called. I forget what they're called. Everybody's trained different. And that's one of the reasons why when I went up to WWE and they wanted me to wrestle, I knew that they were going to have to retrain me because it's their style. It's a different style. So everybody's trained differently. So for somebody who has zero training to comment on the way somebody works, I got a problem with that. I don't like that as a performer. Right. Now, I don't have a problem with him saying, for me, she doesn't do it for me. I'm not attracted to that kind of style. I don't think she's very good, blah, blah, blah. That's okay. But then when, I don't know if he even went this far, but like somebody like a Meltzer or a sheet writer who goes and says they didn't sell that correctly. They didn't do this correctly. That gets me so pissed off. It's like, dude, you've never bumped in your life. Like, shut your mouth. I don't like it. I don't. So you're allowed to have an opinion. You're allowed to be a fan. We're all fans. You're allowed to not like somebody's work, but don't try and critique it and tell me it's wrong when you've never trained. So some bookers want to get in the ring because they love the business so much. And a lot of these bookers, they just make their own company because they want to be one of the boys. Let's be real. That's what half of the indie scene is. Right. Somebody who's got extra money in their pocket. Oh, let's run a show. You know what I mean? And then they want to be one of the boys, so they want to have a match. They don't know what the hell they're doing. So if you're not trained, no, you shouldn't be a worker. But can a worker be a booker? Well, if you're in the business for so many years, like let's take a Shane Douglas.
Yes.
He didn't start out booking. He started out as a wrestler. But you catch on, you have the knowledge. I've booked shows.
Yep.
I'm not saying I'm anywhere near as intelligent as, Shane or any of the guys that have been in it longer than me, but I was able to book successful shows in the past. Not many, but I have a couple under my belt. I've helped. You know what I mean? I feel like wrestlers can make that transition because they've been in the business. They've worked. They know psychology. They know what it takes to be a successful worker. So yeah, they can book shows, but a booker might not be able to wrestle.
No.
Just my 2 cents.
But it's, but he's right with Paulie. Now, Paulie in the earlier stages of ECW was still at ringside a lot, and he was getting involved in matches more. But then as ECW ascended, it wasn't Sabu and RVD with Paul Heyman or Paulie Dangerously. It was Paul E was used as basically like a character foil for somebody who was going against the script. Shane's going to do a shoot promo. He's going to say, and Paul, you can't stop me tonight or something. Taz would point him out. Paul, I'm saying what I want tonight. I don't care if you turn off the mic. Like,
Yep.
he was used as more of a hierarchy personality than a TV character.
I think in the beginning, like, watching, did you really know that it was Paul's company?
No, I didn't at all.
No. So at that point, it's acceptable for him to be at ringside because that's how we know him. We know him as a manager, we know him as a mouthpiece, right? But as ECW continued and word got out, everybody knew that Paul took the book from Eddie Gilbert. So at this point, he's transitioning from a worker to the owner of the company and the booker. And so is it necessary for Paul to be at ringside? Not anymore.
No.
You know what I mean? Hell of a talent. I mean, he was great. Dangerous Alliance was one of the best, groups, factions that were ever out there. And Paul knew what he was doing, but he had transitioned into his role as owner, booker, head honcho. He didn't have to be at ringside. He's wearing 42,000 hats. He doesn't have to be talent on top of that. So.
And whenever he came on, it was a big deal. And I remember how I basically first found out he was running the show was during the Taz Sabu feud. And he did that one television insert spot where he did the timeline of the feud. And that's where I was like, oh, I didn't know he was involved with the company still. And then I find out, as you get the internet, as you read the magazines, that he's booking the product. So pretty good. That's a damn good question. See, I told you I sifted through these.
The way I look at it, I could be wrong, but that's the way I see things,